Hi, my name is Shepheard. I'm the owner and sole employee of the Vegg. The Vegg is a company that makes egg replacers, and this one is unique in that it looks, tastes, and smells like egg.
All right, so when was the Vegg founded and what was your motivation?
It was 2012. My motivation, well, I became vegan in 2007 and I've never seen any kind of a product like it. I've been looking for something that tastes like eggs just to satisfy that need, and I couldn't find anything whatsoever, so I decided to tool around in my kitchen, and I actually came up with a recipe after about a year and a half, and I'm still actually working in my kitchen. The house is where the office nowadays. I came up with a recipe that I liked, and most people like.
Definitely. It's an impressive recipe. When was it founded? What problem was there that you wanted to fix?
Well, the problem I was trying to fix was the simple fact that I couldn't find, anything that looked, tasted, smelled, or had the texture of egg, anywhere. It wasn't available. So I decided, how difficult can it be? The Vegg is a powdered egg replacer that you add water to, and it creates the taste, texture, and smell of a real egg yolk. And we also have the baking mix, which is an elaboration on the Vegg yolk, and that it has some thickeners in it to use for baking. The company was started in 2012. I've been working on a recipe for the Vegg for a couple years and decided to take it to the market, and it's been very well accepted. I get mostly 95% positive feedback. Occasionally there are people that say they can't stand the smell because it's too much like a real egg,
It's good feedback to get.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah. But mostly everybody really likes it. And I think it's just a matter of it being known to the public before it really took off.
And you were telling me about how it's a passion project.
It started out as activism, and I guess it's still activism. But I love, hearing that people like the product, and a lot of people say that it's helped them become vegan because eggs were the last thing that they couldn't really, that made them not want to be vegan. So I've got a lot of those comments, which is great. Very satisfying.
Definitely. That's 100% such a hard thing to find, like vegan. I've never found anything like it. This is the first. It's revolutionary. It's really great.
Changing the world.
Changing the world, yeah, one Vegg at a time. So speaking of that, what's wrong with the original traditional egg laid by hens?
What's wrong with it is the cruelty that, occurs in factory farms where they have hatcheries, and as soon as the males are born, they kill the males either by grinding them up alive or throwing them into containers, letting them suffocate, that kind of thing. And then they take the females and put them in battery cages after they chop off their beaks. These cages aren't large enough for them to even move their wings. So it's a horrendous situation for chickens. And after their usefulness is over, then they're just slaughtered.
Do you want to describe each of your products and what the main ingredients are?
Okay. The Vegg vegan egg yolk is a product that tastes, looks, and smells like, has the texture of egg yolk. It's used mostly for sauces and things that don't require thickening, unlike baking. Let's see, what's in them is nutritional yeast, black salt, sodium alginate, and beta-carotene. 4 simple products. Now the baking mix is basically the Vegg, and it has 2 thickeners, guar gum and xanthan gum, added to it.
What are the main nutritional benefits of each?
Well, the nutritional benefits of the Vegg versus the egg is that it's low in, it has no cholesterol, and it's very low in fat. And also the nutritional yeast in the Vegg is nutritionally beneficial as well on its own. Why doesn't it replace the whole egg? Because it's a yolk. So a yolk wouldn't replace the whole egg, but I do have a product that does replace the whole egg. It's the baking mix. So you could use that as if you had a whole egg for cakes, cookies, muffins, things like that. Even quiches.
So does that explain why the protein is low, because it's just the yolk?
Oh, the protein is low because it's just a consequence of the ingredients that I chose to replicate the flavor, texture, and everything. They just happen to add up to a very low protein count. And I wasn't really interested in boosting that up to try to simulate that in the egg. I think people get enough protein just from veggies and such that you really don't need to go with that mindset that you have to eat lots of protein every day. I think you get enough if you have a balanced diet.
So do you want to tell us the main purposes and uses of the egg yolk?
The egg yolk can be used in things that don't require thickening, like that's contributed by the white. So things like yellow cake, which adds color, and hollandaise sauce, eggnog, eggy soldiers. The UK people like something they call eggy soldiers, which is just dragging your buttered toast through egg yolk. That's really good too.
What are the main features of the Vegg yolk?
Oh, the Vegg yolk can be used to create a spherical egg, like an actual yolk, using calcium chloride. And you can use that in recipes where you want the effect of breaking a yolk over things like toast or tofu.
So do you want to tell us about the main features of the baking mix? What are the applications and the types of baking you use it for?
The baking mix is used for things like cakes, muffins, anything that you want to leaven and firm up. The one thing about the baking mix that's nice is it retains moisture, so you're not going to have like this scrambled egg dry product in the end. It'll leavened and aerated pretty well, and it will still be moist.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
So where can people buy these products?
The Vegg can be purchased at my website, www.thevegg.com, and also on thevegg.com there's a store locator that will lead you to most of the stores worldwide that the Vegg's sold at. A couple of the ones in the United States I really like are Fake Meats, Pangea, and Vegan Essentials.
Tell us about the plant-based ingredients themselves for the Vegg yolk.
The Vegg yolk in it would be seaweed, which is what the sodium alginate is prepared from, seaweed. The nutritional yeast is bacterium. The black salt is a mineral, but beta-carotene comes from vegetables as well.
What about the baking mix?
The baking mix has an additional couple of gums. One of them, guar gum, comes from the guar bean. And so that's the only additional plant, you know.
But there's so few ingredients. Those are all like,
I know.
they're very
simplistic.
natural. Yeah, it's very simplistic.
So it's exciting to, if you think about it, that the Vegg only has 4 ingredients for the Vegg yolk and 6 for the baking mix, and they're all originated from bacterium or plants such as vegetables or seaweed. So that's pretty cool.
Are there any ways you see that the Vegg yolk and baking mix is better than the real egg?
Better, well, lack of cruelty, and lack of cholesterol and fat. I think that's a big plus. And it may eventually be cheaper than real eggs, because eggs are really skyrocketing because of legislation now that's coming around for battery cages, to making them more humane and such. So the price is going to go up for eggs, and I think down for plant-based eggs.
So are there any chains, restaurants, or other places using your product?
Yes, there's a couple of places, probably 6 to 8 restaurants that use it, most of them bed and breakfasts, but there's a place in Philly called Vegan Commissary, and they use it for fried egg, basically. And also in Wisconsin, we have the cheese factory. They love using it for all their pancakes, etc.
The way it's cool that they're using them on pancakes. That's really exciting.
Yeah, pancakes, waffles, and such. We are already poised to handle industrial orders. It's just a matter of people placing the order. I mean, we sell in bulk already, so it's not a problem.
Great. What have been the major challenges for these products, and how did you overcome them?
Getting distribution, this huge problem. And we haven't really overcome it yet because a lot of people still don't know, most people don't know about the Vegg yet. But the way I'm handling it is working with small distributors, and hopefully that will lead into sort of like a building up of moving into places like Walmart and Whole Foods, etc.
What is next for each one of the products you've mentioned, and do you have new products?
They're going to be staying the same, the baking mix and the Vegg. But we do have a new product. We have a French toast mix, which you add water or milk to and stir it up and dip your toast, and you can make French toast. And a lot of people say it tastes just like real French toast because a lot of people say that the egg tastes like real egg, so it's not a leap of logic to think that it would taste like real French toast.
That's so exciting.
Yeah. Actually, I'm thinking of coming up with some new products, the Vegg burger, and possibly Vegg mayonnaise, and hollandaise sauce, and an omelet mix. That's a lot of work, but I think we can get there.
Definitely. Have you been getting a lot of feedback that's been requesting certain things? Or?
Omelet mixes. People really want the scrambled egg and omelets. Yeah, it's very exciting to see all the feedback on Amazon and by email. People saying that they're loving the Vegg and it's helped them go vegan and stay vegan, and so that's very rewarding to me. Makes it all worth it.
Overall, what do you think is wrong with our food system today, and where do you want to see it in the future?
What's wrong with the food system today are large multinational companies that basically don't know how to manage resources, I think, and they're disrupting the soil and distributing pesticides through the soil, etc., and into foods. And part of the problem also is the fact that consumers aren't aware of what's going on. And part of that is because of large corporations' advertising techniques. I would prefer to see food grown locally and organically and then distributed locally, as opposed to large corporations' centralization and distributing it large distances. And of course, if it's organic, then you're not going to have as much pesticide use. So especially one thing that really irks me is GMO. I'm totally against GMO, and I know it's a controversial subject, but I think it's going to eventually come out that it's not good, and I think we should be prepared now, and we should try to stop the proliferation of GMOs.
I want to ask you also about, is your stuff organic? We haven't addressed that. And if not, why? I'm just curious about it's just hard to find the ingredients.
Yeah, most of the ingredients are organic. Some are not, like the nutritional yeast, I don't believe is organic because we can't find an organic source of it. So, but we're still looking. I'd like to get that label that says organic and non-GMO. That's the only thing holding it back is nutritional yeast.
That's very exciting. You're doing a lot towards this cause.
Well, it's been very rewarding and a lot of fun. It's a really exciting time to be vegan because of all the tech startups and the exciting innovation that's going on in the food industry with respect to vegan food. I'm very excited to be a part of that, even though I'm just a one-person business operating out of his kitchen, basically. It's extremely rewarding to be a part of some of the solutions to the problems of, fulfilling the need of people for plant-based substitutions.
But you mentioned that you were excited about the competition because it also, what would that mean to you?
Well, the more competition, the better it is for animals in general, and actually the better it will be for the Vegg because of other people hearing about the Vegg based on looking for other products, basically. So it'll all work together, I think, in a positive way, and that's exciting.
That is very exciting. You're a creator, you know what I mean? Like you started as an artist. Are you excited about the fact that this gives you that freedom to play in a way that no one has yet? You're the first.
Before I became vegan, I worked at Dogs Deserve Better. They're an organization that gets dogs off of chains and back into loving homes, which is a great mission. And they asked me to illustrate and write a children's book, which I did. And it's the story of a dog who's chained out and rescued by a person. And the dog's name is Worthless. And it has a happy ending. Spoiler alert. Some of the illustrations are took a while to do, but I think they're nice.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, that's rewarding to be able to have the first vegan egg yolk, basically, anywhere in the world, you know, and I feel like I'm inspiring other people to jump on board with their creative impulses and possibly try to do something that could benefit the world, even if they're afraid of jumping out there. You know, if I can do it, anyone can do it.
So tell us about the cookbook.
So this is the Vegg cookbook, and it started out as a contest to get some recipes so we could put together the cookbook, and everybody who's a Vegg lover sent in their recipes, and we have like over 70 recipes in here. And the book is on its second edition, so it was very popular initially, and so it's still popular. I give away a lot of cookbooks with every now and then, just for fun. People are excited to get it. I think one of the most interesting applications of it is used as an egg in pasta to make the pasta, and then they use the Vegg to make the sauce to go on the pasta, which is pretty cool. The Vegg carbonara is one of my favorite dishes.